ready to jump into the NEAT system, chapter 2.11. We'll give it a second here. Let everybody hop in. It's been such a light crowd lately because I know it's because of summer. Like everybody's just, hopefully they're having fun. Like just hopefully they're having a good time. Awesome. All right. Get Victoria in here. What's going on, Darylyn? How are you?
Oh.
I can't. It's so dark. Is that a dog or a cat? I can't. It's big.
That's a cat. A big black cat.
I love it.
Thomas.
Thomas?
Yeah.
What a great name for a cat.
He's joined us now, so here we go.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Just one, Darylyn? Just one cat?
Oh no, we have.
That's better, right?
Stop it. Actually, I mean, it seems more dramatic than it really is because we have 4 dogs. We have 6 animals too. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm a lover of pets.
A lover of pets and a lover of rescues. So
Yes. Agreed. In fact, all but one is a rescue.
Victoria should be hopping on here too soon, pretty quick, if she hasn't already.
Fantastic. I need to make sure I add some people here just in case. All right. All right. All right. All righty. Okay, so we'll jump into this bad boy. We want to respect all your guys' time here, and let's share some nuggets that we all got from chapter 2.11, Dr. A's Habits of Healthy Motion, Part 1, the NEAT system. So he did the introduction last time. I think it was like actually the last time we met because we skipped a week. So we jumped right back into this again. So now we're talking about the NEAT system. I believe it's like non-exercise. I don't know. Somebody knows the definition. I just know it's like non-exercise something. I didn't even highlight it. All right. Well, who wants to share some takeaways here that you guys got from this? What blew your mind? Not all at once. Let's see here.
I don't know about blew my mind, and full disclosure, I had a little technical thing because each week I wait for you or Cindy to post what the chapter is going to be. And my wife, who actually listens to her coach, Anna, shout out to Anna, said, well, don't you just look in the banner where it lists every chapter they're going to review well in advance? And I'm like, oh, huh. Well, no, I haven't. So I didn't have time to get through the whole chapter this time. But I did think that it's great. I secretly think that Anna is feeding you information because every week when I talk about a topic, then that's the topic you're going to cover. And so this week I was talking to her about motion and how to incorporate it. And as you guys know, I've only been on the program for, this is week 10. And oh, by the way, big ups because I broke the 300 barrier. I'm down to 296 and I've officially crossed the 40-pound threshold. So I've lost 40 point some odd pounds. So all of that, none of that compares to how I feel and that my blood sugars are below 100 every day. And so I'm like, hey, I'm feeling this great. And my big takeaway was, how the heck do I safely move, start adding in some exercise without actually going overboard and like I have in the past and going, well, now I need to work like the lady that talked today. I think her name was Elma on the community group that was like, yeah, I was going to the gym 7 days a week and da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, that would have been how I would have moved from let's be a couch to potato to this other thing. And so what I really liked about NEAT was it's like, really incremental steps from where you're at. And it really isn't talking above my head for no matter where you're at. And I thought that that was important. And I also, I'm bringing my mom onto this program, and she wasn't able to be here tonight, but when she does, she's a disabled person. And so I liked that it spoke to all levels, and not to be rude or anything, but so many programs just talk down to their clients as though you should already be up here, and now you've lost 20 pounds, therefore you can run a marathon, right? You should be good. And this was like, no, this is the journey, not the sprint. And it really just reminded me that this is the right program for me, because it's talking my language, which is, yeah, I have a sedentary job where I sit at this desk and I can do these little bitty things every day, little tweaks here and there, start slow, not throw myself out of fat burn, and continue to grow into, was it you, Sarah, last week that was talking about running, or 2 weeks ago? But that was talking about it recently in our group here, and talking about getting, I can see doing those things that I can get from where I'm at to something like that. And so that's the part that blew me away. Thanks for letting me share.
No, I love that. And that is one of the most common things that happen, for the very reason you just said. Not that we're in peak physical condition right away, when we start losing weight, but because we feel good. And when we feel good, all of a sudden we want to do stuff. So for some people it's going on walks. For some people it's like all of a sudden they're cleaning more, right? I know that Josh Michelle Bomba used to share that all the time. Like, they're painting the kitchen and stuff all of a sudden, right? But yeah, that's a totally natural thing that happens. And I love that. So there's also that tension when you talk to your coach. They're like, oh, I want to go do stuff. And like, okay, well, let's talk about what that looks like, right? Well, what do you want to do? And then some, as coaches were like, oh, please don't tell me you want to like go CrossFit all of a sudden. Like, they don't go full blown Sarah Shadell. Like, hey, how about we just go on a walk, right? How about, yeah, it's good though. It's good. It's as coaches, we got to hold them back a little bit so they don't exert too much on the 5 and 1. Who else?
And hello, dance party, Samba. I can do a 5-minute dance party at my desk. Hello. I just want to put that out there as an option for all of us. Cause yeah, I turn on my little Echo, whose name I can't say without her responding. And then, little shimmy, little boogie, a little something, something.
I lovingly refer to her as the dingy broad so that she doesn't activate.
Yeah, Darylyn, you can name your Echo?
There's 5 of them you can choose.
Oh,
yeah. I just call her Echo so that she doesn't respond to her activate word. Because if I say her name,
okay,
yeah. Or I sometimes call her Alessandra, because she doesn't respond to that either. But then my wife knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We just retired our A word, our Echo, our E word, and I opened up a Google thing over here, so now I have a Google device. Cool. I love it. I love it. Who else?
Okay, fine. I was waiting patiently for it to be either Misty or myself. So Darylyn, thank you for taking first place today. We do appreciate it. I don't have my book with me because I've been working out of my room, which is upstairs. And although walking up the stairs would be a great example of neat activity, I'm set up downstairs right now. So I'm not going to, so I don't have all my notes, but the thing that I love most about the neat activities is that it's so sustainable. And so working that into your routine, and for me at least, is that kind of like Darylyn mentioned, right? Like we want to go from 0 to Sarah Shadell overnight, and that's not sustainable for most of us. And so having these pieces where even if we don't make it to the gym, which sometimes becomes our goals, that all day, every day movement that is good for so many pieces of our journey. For me, that physical movement really impacts my mental well-being. And so that's another way to release a dopamine hit for me. And so having those neat activities kind of scattered throughout my day keeps me moving, literally. But anyways, so I don't have my highlighted notes to tell you what page I have takeaways from, but I really like this section.
Okay, fine. I can't zip it any longer. You knew it was coming. I don't have my book or my notes or anything either, but what I have is actually more of a reflection on just what I've been noticing of myself and of my journey and things more recently is, and especially when you're going through a little bit of emotional chaos and you become sedentary. You just sit, right? And especially it's so easy when you don't have, when you're not working in structure, you're not being mindful of your health journey or anything else, right? You're making all the excuses to sit here and do what, right? Like I can't necessarily tell you what I'm doing, but I'm putting that busy badge on and that's taking away from my actual emotion. And so I've been slipping and I've been doing a lot of sitting and that's not something that I'm enjoying. So I told Cindy a couple weeks ago, it's like one of the really good things about coaching and one of the things that we like to share is the ability to have time freedom and to do things. And how am I showing that I have time freedom or that I'm able to do things if I'm sitting on my ass in my computer? I'm not, right? So now I'm finding excuses to go out into my garden and spending 45 minutes pulling weeds or walking down to the flipping mailbox that's only 2 blocks away, you know, doing things with my kiddo. All of those little motion things impacts my health drastically. I know that when I'm sitting, I'm not burning calories. I'm eating, even if I'm on 5-in-1, there's a potential that I'm still not burning what I should be burning. So, it is a huge factor and something that I don't think that we pay attention to where we should. So yeah, it's a big impact for all of us.
Yeah, it sounds simple. Even sometimes Cindy and I will, if we have a break in our schedule, we'll get up and one of us will prompt like, hey, you want to walk? And we'll go walk for 30 minutes in between phone calls or something like that. And even we have to be intentional about it because I can go through an entire day sometimes and be like, the only reason I got up was to get some more coffee and that's not enough motion, right? Like, so anyways, I do one of the things that I did like, and it reminded me of a friend of mine, Richard, was especially during COVID, he's in his 70s and he couldn't get out and go on the, in fact, he was scared to because, you know, he's an older guy, he's got some health issues. And what he would do, he would tell me how he would literally walk around his condo, which wasn't that big, but he'd do laps. And he was so proud of himself because he had his little Fitbit or tracker and he would tell me how many steps that he got that day. And he was just, you know, like a racetrack in his house doing circles, you know, so those little things matter too. I mean, it wasn't work related. It was the circumstance that he was in. And he still wanted to make sure he was doing that for himself. And I was really proud to hear that he was doing that. I certainly wasn't doing that. I should have been doing that. But anyways, it kind of fits into the strolling, walking, neat part of it. You know, parking further away. That's one of the things, and I've mentioned that before because I don't want anybody to touch my car. I park further away at all the locations. So anyways, and last one, meet people face to face, for crying out loud. Like, you know, it's a different environment now. I think that's super important for our mental, our whatever you want to use it, health. We need to do that as well. Okay, so sorry, Sarah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I knew you wanted to talk.
Okay, yeah. Hi, everybody. So yeah, I'm fighting technology, so I at least want to say I participated. But I wanted to share that in past diets, I overdid exercise, just and it was not a sustainable thing. That's why I really like the NEAT, because I can do healthy movement around the house and kind of I love that idea of just being able to just turn on some music and just celebrate life, you know, and try to keep yourself positive every day. So I just wanted to say, yeah, that this is one chapter I can resonate with. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that.
I'm going to chime in too. I'll have to say, after kind of going through this chapter, like I get up 5 days a week and I go to the gym, but I find myself, once I start working, being very lazy. And I have to like consciously make an effort to get out of my desk and move. Because I'm like, oh, I've already did my workout for today, I'm good. No, that's not good enough. You still have to like continue to move and continue to do stuff, keep your body in motion, you know, whether it's going outside with the dogs or going downstairs to the basement to do laundry, whatever. But like, I have to make an effort to get my booty out of my desk to keep moving.
Hey, Sarah, I know it probably looks like we're throwing shade at you, but I really appreciate you sharing, because I just find you to be an inspiration at where you've become and who you are. But also hearing that you still struggle on the daily to keep your goals and to go there as a noob, that's really important. Know that like the challenge doesn't go away, but we just get to make different choices about it. And it's all love, girl. I so appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a never ending battle, right? Like it's always a journey, regardless of what we're doing or what part of our journey that we're on, whether it's doing the 5-in-1 or for me being in maintenance and keeping my healthy motion going. So thank you.
All right. So we've talked about like some standing things. We've talked about some strolling and walking. And I know that Darylyn talked about Samba, which was kind of like one of the next ones, stairs and Samba. Anybody, I don't work in a building. I don't go downstairs in my house. Does anybody in here leverage some of that? Or did this chapter maybe spark some ideas for you for your own work environment at home? Elise, yeah, tell me about
it. Struggles real. For me, I work on the 3rd floor and I park farther because I don't like construction people near my car because we're getting new parking. So I park farther. It takes me longer to get to my desk, but I'm adding those steps in. I don't like doing the dishes. I'm adding the 80s jams and I'm dancing while I do the dishes. So you'll find me in the kitchen dancing to Whitney Houston or the 80s jam on Spotify, and I'm finding a way. Just like Sarah, I struggle. I'm on maintenance, and there's some days where I don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. to lift or to squat or to walk my dog. Like, she has a leash, she can go out, but 5-second rule. What do I want? How am I going to get there? And I was telling that to Ashley last week. I have 5 seconds to decide. And, and we made a rule of 1, 2, 3, don't care. Don't overthink it. Just do it, and there's sometimes where I struggle and I'm like, I don't want to get off the couch. My back's hurting. It's been hurting for almost a week. And I made a decision. I'm going to walk. Ashley's going to call me. Okay, at this time, I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk a little bit. It's hot outside. I'm going to walk. So yeah, I echo with Sarah. I struggle as well, but I make the decision. What do I want for the future and how can I act in the now? And that was huge for me. So I take the steps, even though I want that elevator. I take it slow and steady. I don't overdo it. If I'm in pain, I definitely listen to my body, but the neat is an exciting thing for me. I got excited seeing the neat. I thought it was neat and I worked the neat.
At least I would have never thought that you struggled that, because every time I see you, your Facebook persona or whatever it is, I don't want to say it's persona because it's you, but you're like, and I've seen you in person. Okay, Ashley's basically what I'm thinking, right? But you guys are two peas in a pod, but like you're always going 100 miles an hour. And I say that lovingly, like not a bad thing. So for you to say that you got to fight through that, that's interesting. I would have never thought that. That's very interesting.
I live up
Is
to
everything-
my now name, Jones. I gotta keep up with the Jones. Like that was my mindset. I gotta find a new one with Nathan's last name, Tremblay. I gotta find a new slogan, but I live up to my last name, keeping up with the Joneses. But yeah, I struggled with that. Like this week, I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to walk. I just want to lay on the couch. I listened to my body and my health and rested. But what did I do yesterday? I got in the pool and I got my steps in. I danced around. I found a way to get the NEAT in because it's important to me, even though I struggle.
I love that. I love that. So Samba and Switch, these are the two things I was just kind of taking a quick look at. So Switch is doing things by hand instead of machine. I think dishes is well, for me it's therapeutic. Every dish that goes in my dishwasher is already hand washed. It could literally go back into the cupboard when I'm done with it, but I don't know. You still stick it in the sterilizer. But yeah, I enjoy that. So for me, that's not, I don't know, that's not an extra task. But we're standing, we're moving. Is there anything that you guys do that could be done by machine that you're doing manually?
If I'm baking for like my kids' birthdays, parties, or whatever, if I can, I'll mix the batter myself instead of using an electric mixer. That one. And then I think it's already in here, but use the manual can opener. And also because I just fight with the electric one, so I just do it myself. But trying to mix by hand as much as possible instead of using the electric mixer.
I love that. That's some great ones. Does anybody wash their car by hand? Ashley still does? Good. Elise, good. The rest of us are just too lazy for that, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, do you not have HOAs that forbid that because it's bad for the environment? Or at least that's what they tell us.
Girl, we in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, well, that's a different thing.
We're in America.
America.
America. Yeah, no. If we were caught washing our kids, no, that would be bad.
Really? What city are you in, Darylyn?
Olympia, Washington.
Really? And
Actually, it's Lacey
wow.
technically, but yeah, it's my HOA. We were unincorporated, but we don't have any drains.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So we don't have any sidewalks or drains or anything. And so it just goes to your neighbor and that's frowned upon.
Interesting. Yeah, I was in Tacoma and I think there was like one drain on the block. It covered everybody, but yeah, everything else, that's just kind of how Washington is. It just set up to absorb the water rather than Colorado. You must have drains or otherwise everybody's flooding. Interesting. I had never heard that, but I can see that, right? I can see that's where we're going in the world. Interesting. Anybody else switch? It says in here, manual lawnmower. Does anybody have one of those? You have a manual lawnmower, Elise? Really? The one with the propeller blades? That's
Yours?
No, not the, was it 1950?
No.
They still sell those. They still sell them. And when I was growing up, we had a neighbor that used one. We had a neighbor that had one. And I was like, I never could figure, I mean, they weren't doing it for the environment or anything like that. I just think they didn't want to buy a lawnmower. But I have not seen one in a very long time. But Dr. A talks about it. He must be living from back in the day when he was growing up when he wrote this. Nobody. Okay, so all right. I guess that's not one. Anybody else?
Even though like pushing the lawnmower versus like Richard sitting on the John Deere, just like riding around our big old yard, like her pushing the lawnmower still like it's walking.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I've never. Oh, go ahead.
There's ones that are self-propelling, and there's ones like I have that aren't. I'm the propeller. I'm the horsepower behind it.
Okay.
Yeah. So those count, right?
I just
So I don't
figured
know if
you just gotta, you've got to get the blade going. I mean, that's some, exercise for the
We
lawn.
had one of those back in the day and I actually loved it. The only thing that was really hard about it is that you had to sharpen it. And that
Oh.
part really sucked. So
I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've gone down nostalgia lane, anybody else have any takeaways?
Well, I just
before we,
didn't
go
want
into-
to. Is it okay to sort of say something negative? Because I didn't really like the switch section. I didn't think that that was as helpful as some of the other tips. I thought that, I'm not living in the day where I can go turn my television on once in a while with a knob that no longer exists. I wouldn't even know how to turn my television on without a remote. I just go to Comcast and replace the remote. But I do like other things like that seem more practical to me. Like I can take a meeting while putting on some headsets and taking a walk or going into my backyard or just getting little increments of movement. I found everything but that one section to be helpful. I'm not going to get out of order.
People options too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Like
right,
which
yeah.
ones are going to fit in with you the
Right.
best? And
I think it's mostly the dishwashing for me. I mean, yeah, we have a dishwasher. Let's do that. And we used to have when we hurt more, and I don't know if I can get Victoria to chime in, but when we hurt more, we didn't, I know I'm totally calling her out here now. I know. But when we hurt more, we had somebody that we paid to come mow our lawn. And so regardless of the fact that we now have a self-propelled one that we have to push a button down to help us walk, we walk it. I mow the front, she mows the back. We both walk that, and that's a positive change. So
Yeah, I love that.
And
Some
it
of these-
supports healthier finances.
Right. Mind you, it doesn't look as good as when the other dudes would do it, but still, it's done.
those are the professionals, right? We're the amateurs mowing our lawn, and they get it done in like 5 seconds, and we're over there, getting it all like, where's the line? The lines are all messed up. All right, well, fantastic, you guys. Yeah, some of these different areas, like I think Ashley was saying, they will speak to you. Some of them won't. Some will apply to you. Something like in your brain, you're like, oh yeah, I'll try that. So I